Bubbles, your flight attendant, to her fully upright and locked position. Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphear.
There she is, Deb. How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I am good. Welcome back to Skip Happens, everybody. Got another great show for you all today. I like this. I love this already. Wait, before we get into too much and we introduce our guest officially, as you can see, her name's on the screen there. I'm going to play a little bit of this. Here we go. Listen now. Give you an idea.
I know it's hard to break all of the patterns that we made. You see me drowning slow,
You
and
can say-
you don't even reach the coast. So underwater our love goes. Oh, 'cause all we ever do is fight. I don't wanna spend my night wishing for one last goodbye. Goodbye. There's no drug to get me high enough to forget the ways you messed me up. There's no pill that can erase my mind.
There it is.
I like it. I like
I
it.
still cry sometimes.
Her name is Eva Grace, everybody.
Breaking my heart.
There she
Welcome.
is. And brand new song. Go ahead. Tell everybody what the name of that song is, Eva.
The song is called Still Cry Sometimes.
Yes. We love it. Now, Eva Grace, everybody. I love that already. It's just kind of, it's got that smooth, it's the smoothness of it, but it's still got the beat. Love it. Love it. And Eva Grace with us here tonight on Skip Happens. Officially, welcome. And you're in the desert and we are in the Northeast.
Where
So-
are you based?
Syracuse.
Oh, okay, nice. I'm
Have you ever
originally from Philadelphia. I haven't been to
Oh.
Syracuse, but lived in New York for a bit.
Oh, I love it. Okay. All right. But what now, where are you right now?
In Tucson, Arizona.
Okay. We have to ask. Go ahead, Deb, if you want to ask.
Well, what brought you? Where were you previous to Arizona, and what brought you to Arizona?
So previous to Arizona, I was in Nashville for about a year. And really, I just came here for a change of pace and cheap rent. So
Ooh, that's a good reason. Cheap rent.
Smart woman right there. Smart woman. So you were in Nashville for a year, and before that, you said you were in Philly?
yeah, I was in Virginia for a bit
Okay.
between, but I was born in Philly, lived there my
Gotcha.
whole life, and lived in New York for a couple of years.
Yeah. Like in the city?
Yeah,
New York?
New York City. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Very cool. Were you making music in New York?
No, I wasn't. I was actually working a bit in music publishing, but wasn't creating my own music at that point. So
Okay. So now we have to ask, what got you into actually making your own music?
I've made music my entire life by myself at the piano. I've
Okay.
always been drawn to the piano and singing and doing cover songs and stuff like that. And I always wrote songs and would sing by myself in my room, but I never wanted to share it with anyone. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I went to record a cover song at a studio, and I completely fell in love with the entire like professional process. And I realized that I could really do this, and I just started writing like every day since then, and it's been 3 years, so I'm in love with the whole thing.
So
Are
how did
you-
you? Oh,
No, go ahead.
I was just wondering how you got the courage to actually go record when you were, skeptical about sharing it in front of other people.
I think it wasn't as nerve-wracking because still it would just be me and a studio engineer. So I wasn't that nervous about it. And then it was easier to release a cover song because it wasn't my own words. So that was the first thing I released, was a cover song. It's a Black Bear song. I don't know if you're familiar with Black Bear, but I did that, and then I released my own song and did my first music video and everything. And ever since then, I've just I knew I have to do this. Like, I can't not do it. So
You love it. There's no doubt about it. You love it. I can
Yeah.
tell already. So, what would you say is your music like alternative pop? Is that how you would consider your genre?
Yeah, so I've been going through a process of finding my sound, and I think I
Mhm.
started out a little more towards the pop side, and then went a little EDM, and now I'm
Mhm.
like going back to just like alternative pop. But I want to start releasing more emotional tracks, like stuff that's more true to me. And I've over the course of the past 3 years, I've written I don't even know over 100 songs.
Wow.
And the ones that I release are the ones that don't even feel closest to my heart, and I'm overdoing that. Like, I'm done with doing that because I just it feels more safe to release stuff that I don't feel stuff from because I have no
Mhm, mhm.
expectation for it, and I'm like, "Whatever, who cares?" But I'm realizing as I keep growing as an artist that I need to release the stuff that makes me cry, the stuff that makes me feel something because that's what's gonna make other people feel something, so
That's the whole game right there. If
Mhm.
you can touch on their emotions,
Yeah.
it's going to go far, and people are going to remember that. That's really kind of cool. Now I see the guitar in the background. Do you play the guitar as well as the keyboard?
Actually, don't play guitar, but I do play the piano that's right
All
here.
right. Well, I got to tell you, I got two guitars behind me, and I don't play guitar.
Oh,
They're good
So it's-
props for camera space.
but they're real
yeah.
guitars.
Yeah, I mean, it gets used on my songs, but I don't play it, so
Right. No, I got you. I got you. Tell us a little bit about your process, your creative process. When you sit down to write, are you alone? Are you with somebody else? And tell us about the process.
it really all depends. I have found that my deepest songs come from me just sitting at the piano because that's what I did growing up, so I feel like I'm most comfortable in front of the piano,
Mhm.
uh, in letting my feelings out, but I think it just depends. My process is sometimes that, and then I bring it to the producer that I'm working with, which is typically J Names Beats, and
Okay.
I'll bring a song to him, and then he'll produce it out, and I'll record my vocals, and then we'll go back and forth and figure it out. But sometimes he'll make a beat first, and then I'll write to that. So it really depends. But I'm usually just writing the song myself, or sometimes
Mhm.
his name's Josh. He'll have an idea, and I'll like go off of that. And I'm very competitive, so that's like a big driving factor. Is I always want to like outdo myself, or outdo someone else in the room.
Mhm.
And I just got into writing with other people as well. I just got back from LA and had an
Oh, cool.
amazing few writing sessions. So just getting into writing with other people, but so far my
Mhm,
process
mhm.
has just been writing the songs, pretty much on my own, and then Josh will produce it out.
You've pretty much gone from coast to coast. You're talking
Mhm.
about being in LA,
Yeah.
but born in Philly and lived in New York, so you've
Mhm.
gone coast to coast. But why? Let me ask, why did you move from Nashville to Tucson?
I know, funny, right? I went from the Music City, which is what I'm
That's
trying
why
to
I'm
do.
asking. And we enjoy all the different genres of music, whether it's country, and there's a lot of that in Nashville, but there's also a lot of rock, there's a lot of pop, there's a lot
Mhm.
of hip hop, there's a lot of everything. And a lot of the big studios and a lot of the writers, they're all there.
Yeah.
It's just Music City in general. Why did you make that move?
Honestly, like I said, the cheap rent and everything can
Yeah.
be done remotely, and I have an awesome studio setup. So, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't
Did
feel the need to be in that city because I can go
Okay.
whenever I want, and LA is very drivable from here. Like, I made the drive, so I don't know. I feel fine being
Yeah.
here.
did you pick Arizona out of thin air, or do you know people there?
Yes, out of thin air.
Really? Oh
Just
my gosh.
yeah, I was just looking for a cheap rent, and this
Yeah.
is it.
See,
Wow.
that's amazing. And if you look out your window, do you see the mountains?
Yeah, it's
Isn't that
beautiful.
beautiful? You
Yes.
see the cacti? They call them
Yes.
Mhm.
cacti. Yeah. Watch out for the snakes because they're big ass snakes. I'm
I
just telling
will.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
always looking out, and people keep saying there's gonna be scorpions, but
Oh yeah, there are.
none yet. I haven't seen any, so
Well, keep a lookout because it's just the environment. It's the
yeah.
way it is out there, and you got the big washes too, right? When I say washes, that's where like if it rains real hard for a short
Oh,
period of
yeah,
time.
there's, like, monsoon season
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
which is coming up in a couple months, and it gets pretty crazy.
Okay. Let me ask, have you been up on Mount Lemon at all?
Yes, absolutely love it, and it's so interesting to me that it's it's snowy up there when it's like 90 degrees here. I don't
Mhm.
really quite understand it. I mean, I understand it, but not really.
You know, one of my trips to Arizona way back in the day, we went to a place called Pine Top. I don't know if you've heard of that or not, but a lot of people go up there and ski. It was 95 degrees when we started. We went up to Pine Top. There were snowbanks that were probably 2 to 3 feet high by the
Wow.
time we got to the resort. I mean, it's just amazing.
And
You
how do you
could- yes.
dress? I mean, how do you dress to ski or you dress to
Exa-
suntan?
Well, you do it in layers.
So you're halfway down the mountain, all of a sudden you start baking and you're tearing all these clothes off. You have to carry them down with your skis. I just can't imagine.
That's crazy. It's
I
crazy, but it's
know.
pretty cool. So you're in a beautiful part of the world, a beautiful part of the beautiful United States, being in Tucson. Love Tucson. You're close enough to the border. If you want to take a little bit of a trip, you're close
Yeah.
to LA, and there's a whole lot of action going on in LA.
Mhm.
So yeah. What if you could collaborate with anybody, who would you like to get together and do something with?
Well, it depends what kind of song I'm making.
Okay.
I would say if I'm doing like an alt pop song, I would love to collaborate with an artist. Her name is Upsall.
Okay.
But if I was doing some more indie stuff, I mean, I love Tame Impala. I don't know if you're familiar, but I adore Tame Impala. It's Kevin
Mhm.
Parker. I would love if he would do drums and guitar on a song for me.
Wow.
So that would be cool to collaborate with him.
Very nice. We're going to need to get educated on some of the other genres of music. Well, at least me, I should say. I'm kind of a
What do you
little
guys
tunnel vision.
what do you guys listen to mostly?
Oh man, I got to tell you, me being a radio guy,
Oh, you're everything, aren't you?
God, it all depends on how I wake up. It all
Mhm.
depends what is it like out. Seriously, when I walk out of the house in the morning to go to the radio station, it's like, all right, like today, for example, it's a beautiful day, beautiful start, a little cool. But you know what? I want the feel good music. I want something that's going to be upbeat, that's going to make me feel good. I love music with a lot of brass in it. Whether it's today or I can take it back to the 80s. I love that stuff. And that's the stuff I'll be cranking,
Mhm.
Then on the rainy days, yeah, just kind of rainy day music.
It's interesting. It differs. Like some people like the music to support how they're feeling and match it. And some
Yeah.
people almost go opposite. Like if they're feeling sad, they want to listen to something upbeat to get them out of
Mhm.
it. But I feel like I always want the music to match my emotion because I want to
Mhm.
like feel it fully.
Exactly. What about you, Deb?
Well, it's either country or 80s, I think. Like today I had Chicago going, James Taylor going, Elton John
She's
going,
old.
uh, Peter
I'm
Gabriel. I
kidding.
love all that stuff. So, but then, every once in a while I'll throw on some disco music because, I grew up dancing in the
Okay.
bars and stuff. So I miss some of that stuff. I really do.
Did
Yeah.
you live through the well, I know you did, that era where everything was disco sucks? Remember all that?
Yes. About what years was that
That was a
back
long
then?
time ago, and it might be before Eva was even around. So
I
I'm
know,
just
because I'm
saying.
trying to
But
think when I started listening to other types of music, so it might have
Mhm,
been around then. So,
mhm.
um,
Yeah. Eva, tell us about the pandemic. How did that affect everything that you do? Did it help you?
Honestly, it helped me tremendously. I think it really it just made me get more into recording myself at home
Mhm,
because now I can produce things myself. I can completely record myself, edit, comp my vocals, do everything versus going into the studio or going to work with people outside of my own home. Was more like dependent on them recording me. So this
mhm.
really took me out of my comfort zone. And also just I was home all the time so I could write music all the time. So I would say it worked wonders for me in that respect.
We've heard that more times than not.
Mm.
mhm.
That's what's happened.
So if you don't know how to work something, because you said you're producing your own music and doing some engineering, did I hear that right? You were doing, does that mean you're
Yeah,
mixing it?
I co-produce some stuff and
Okay.
I can edit my own vocals. Yeah, go ahead.
So if you don't know how, I mean, I'm sure during COVID too, it worked out great, but let's just say in this case, you knew you wanted to do it, but you weren't sure how to do it. Do you have to take a class on this type of stuff, or can you go to YouTube and learn how to do these things?
You can absolutely
brings that on?
You can absolutely go to YouTube. But I was lucky enough to be living with 3 music producers. A couple of years ago, we all lived in
Nice.
Virginia together, and then we all lived in Nashville together. So I soaked in as much as I could, and a lot of credit goes to who I mentioned earlier, James Beats. He taught me so much in Ableton. So that's really why. Just
That's
being able to
amazing.
work and live with producers. It was
So
the
that
crash
they
course.
used Ableton.
It depends on the person. The people I
Tools.
lived with, one guy, Matty Beats, he uses Pro Tools.
Love it.
And then the 2 other guys, Josh and Cade, they both use Ableton. And I can use Pro Tools. I can function in there. I also can use Logic, but my favorite is Ableton. I just feel like the workflow is amazing and you could do so much.
You see, I love that, knowing that you can actually work on your own music. You're not only putting the tracks down, you're actually going in the back end and you're making them sound really good. And I'm sure they do anyways.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, what?
No, I'm sure the tracks sound great anyways, but you're adding that little bit to them because you know how to use the program.
Yeah, and that's something too that has been so relevant as of late, because I feel like working with Josh, because he's such a talented producer, I started doing his style of production and leaning into what he was doing. And what we're trying to get back into is my sound on my own with him, rather than he produces and I write a song. Now it's like we produce and I write the song. So it's more genuine to what my production style would be by myself.
Eva, have you done an EP, an album? I assume you have an EP. Am I correct by saying that?
I actually do not. No, I've only released
But you're working on
singles thus far.
Okay. Are you planning on doing like an EP to get you out there a little bit more and then eventually an album?
Next year I'm going to do an EP, but this year it's going to be all singles. I'm just really trying to build more momentum before doing an EP.
And how are you building that momentum? Are you using social media?
So I found the most success with one of my songs actually on TikTok. And I released the song with no expectation. That seems to be the key. But released it with no expectation, and then it had a dance trend on TikTok. And it went crazy. It was amazing seeing thousands and thousands of people do a dance to your song. It's just unlike anything else. And so I was building a bit of momentum with that, and then released another song after that, and the same fan base was really into it. So I'm trying now to get the people that listen to my music to understand that I'm moving away from dance music and trying to go with more emotional stuff. But I just have to stick it out and release what's true to me, and the right people will follow.
So those that are following you, they are buying your music, correct? They are supporting you?
Yes.
Excellent.
I hope.
No, and I hope too, because you are very talented. I can hear it in the song. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love all different types of music, as you know now, but that is so very, very good. So, and I will have to say that when we have a guest come on, and I see, and a lot of people may not know this, but for example, we do the podcast. I have a Shure SM7B mic. Now that's the official name, but you do too. So you know what you're doing. So you went out and got that Shure SM7B, and you've got a great home studio, I would assume.
Yeah, pretty great. And the main producer that I work with has some amazing mics. Like he is, I don't know the exact name, but it's a manly something, and it is a sick mic. That's our favorite. So
it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing what a good microphone would do.
Yes, and what a sound treated space can do for your mic. It's ridiculous.
Amazing.
I know you both sound awesome, by the way.
It's just amazing. Now I gotta get Deb to get one of these. And,
well, I gotta tell you, the name sounds like it's a bomb name. That MS
oh my gosh.
something. It sounds like it's a big thing.
Deb, I want to hear you say it's a Shure SM7.
Oh, sure, SM. Oh, okay. I thought you said
7B.
MS something.
And anybody that's doing music, most anybody,
Yeah.
if they do an interview,
Mhm.
this is the type of microphone they're using for the most
Oh,
part.
it definitely
There's
sounds
other
amazing.
great ones as well.
Mhm.
What's your most useless talent?
Well, I'm hoping this won't be useless in the future, but right now it's pretty useless. I can do a lot of pretty weird voices.
For example,
Oh.
I can do like a child voice. This is so funny. I'll do it right now, I guess.
yeah. Let's hear it. I want to hear you do this.
Let me think what I can say. Okay.
Hi, my name is Eva Grayson. My mom needs to pick me up from school, but I'm not ready to go yet. I gotta get my backpack and everything ready first.
Oh my God, that was so awesome.
Seriously, have you thought about doing voiceover?
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm like really thinking about it lately because I've been doing a bunch of voices lately, and I would adore to do like cartoons and stuff because I can do like crazy voices. So
Oh, you'd have no problem getting a job. None. That was phenomenal.
thank you.
So you need to do a demo of that stuff because it's always good. I'm sure you're gonna do fine with your music, but it's always good to have something else, another talent, and something to fall back on. And or if you have some downtime and somebody needs a child's voice, here's the script. That's really good.
That was really good.
Yeah,
really,
I know.
good.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
close enough to LA, so you should be able to.
Yeah, and there's enough talent
right up.
agencies. Atlas is one of those for voiceovers, and they're always looking for people.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look into it because I have so much fun doing voices. So
And have you ever done anything like that professionally, like even worked radio or something different besides music?
I mean, right now I have a day job. I work at a law firm in marketing. That's
Okay.
not that, but I work in stuff outside of music as well.
Mhm.
But nothing of doing voices. So
So do
actually,
you-
no, wait, there was an app. There was an app like 5 years ago, and I was the voice on the app. So yeah,
See,
No
there
way.
you go.
but
First thing on your resume, right there.
Do you kid around in the law office once in a while?
do I kid around? You said
Yeah, like with the voices.
no, not at all.
They probably it's got to be too.
I definitely could. I mean, I have people I'm like cool with, but I don't do that. I like don't even really share that with anyone. I'm like, this is like cool. I even did the voice on here. That's funny.
Well, I thought it was very good.
Mhm.
To be totally honest with you, that was very good. We're talking with Eva Grace tonight here on Skip Happens, and Skip happened just a few minutes ago when you heard that voice, but it's definitely awesome. What is the best advice that you have ever been given?
I would say this wasn't directly given to me, but I overheard it on I don't know if it was on a podcast. I forget, but I think this is tremendous advice and I wish I'd listened to it sooner. It's just that the truth and what is you is always the answer when it comes to music. Like instead of trying to figure out what should my brand be, who should I be, how should I sound, whatever is true to you
Mhm.
and what you don't have to try too hard to become is the right answer. So that's what I'm going back to now.
That's kind of the direction you're moving forward. What you
Yeah.
were describing earlier.
Yeah.
So this latest song that you released, is that in that direction, or is that finishing up your past, I guess?
I would say it's definitely in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, because I find it so easy to write songs in the EDM genre and to just use it as an escape and get into someone else's mindset and write something, but it truly means so much more when I'm writing from my heart. And this song that we're talking about, Still Cry Sometimes, is definitely from the heart. So
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent. Hey, I want to go back to that voice again.
yeah. What do you want me to say? I'll say whatever.
No. Have you ever messed around with somebody like on the phone or done anything crazy like that? As a joke?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How about the telemarketers that call? Let me get my mommy.
No, I haven't done that, but that would be funny. The best thing I've done is I I pranked. Oh, someone said they love the voice thing. That's funny. But I pranked someone years ago and pretended to be a man, and it was a whole thing. It's a whole story, but they completely believed it, and to this day, they still believed it. So I don't know.
You sounded like a guy.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
all ears.
They
I
might
don't want
figure.
to. I don't
They
want to
might.
do this one. Yeah.
They might figure it out now
Yeah.
if she does that. So we have to
What a
keep that
talent,
one a
though.
secret.
Yeah.
You know, it's not only about your voice. Well, it is about your voice. And you are an artist. You are a singer, and you're singing about your feelings, as we just heard with the new song as we opened up here tonight. If somebody wanted to get a hold of your music, do you have a website or anything like that?
So a
Probably should.
website is in the works, but you can
Okay.
find me on any social platform at I'm like the letters I am Eva Grace. But if you just search Eva Grace anywhere, or you just Google Eva Grace, you'll find me. So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That means you are more on the unique side.
Oh, she is unique. And that's what, you know what? That is so cool. Because you got to be unique. I think you would admit that if you really want to do, you got to be different. You have to be unique. You got to make it work for Eva Grace. Right? No, because you don't want to sound like somebody else. You don't want to be like somebody else. You want to be your own person and your own sound. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you think you would be doing right now if you weren't doing voices or music?
I'd be dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't say that. You're too much of a talent.
I might be acting, honestly, because I love acting. I just love playing characters. And that's like what has been so fun for me with music, and what I'm trying to get away from actually at the moment is because I'll escape into characters and write as a character. And I felt like I was doing that for the longest time, like this character Eva Grace. And so I'm trying to just be myself, which shouldn't be hard, but it seems to be, because I am like an actress at heart. I'm an entertainer. So like
Absolutely.
So I was just going to say that. So you're probably going to be have a multi-talented career, because I mean, you're young, first of all, so you have a long ways to go. Talented in singing, talented in the voice, talented. I'm sure you're talented in acting, just for the little bit that we saw, and plus it's in your heart. So, you probably made a really good move there to Arizona. We'll probably talk to her next year, and she'll be living in LA.
hopefully, yeah.
Driving the 405 every day.
Yeah.
Bitching about
Producing a
traffic.
movie, writing the music for it, acting
hanging
it,
out
and
at the beach. Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I don't like the beach too much.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not a beach girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up going to the Jersey beaches, but obviously those are dirty. So
see, yeah, I know. I don't like sand between my toes. It's just that feeling.
I agree.
I agree. But if I go to the beach, not that this is about me, this is about you, but if I go to the beach, I don't go in the water much. If anything, I will just soak up the sun, have a couple of cold ones. Then it's time to go back to the house.
I so agree. I mean, I like the sun aspect, but the water, I mean, if it wasn't salt water, which is, I don't know, close to impossible on a beach. I mean, if it wasn't salt water, I'd be more likely to go in, but the salt, and I don't know. I'm just not into it.
It just feels, you're all sticky when you come out. The sand is sticking to you. I grew up on the beaches. I'm from Long Island originally.
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
I grew up on the beaches, but as I came to upstate New York, then it's a lake. I'm like, where are the way? I didn't know anything about a lake when I got here. I didn't even know what they were. But then I migrated away from that, and I'm totally fine sitting by a pool. So
yeah, definitely prefer that over the beach.
I'm good with that.
Well, so what's the temperature outside right now?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. What was it like?
In the 80s, I'm sure.
Well, I'm just kind of, because it's I'm going to sound like everybody else. Well, in Arizona, it's dry heat.
Yeah,
you
it's 90. Feel the humidity. So.
It's 90.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's funny. Everyone says that about the dry heat too. They're like, it's dry. You're not going to feel it. It's like, it's still hot. It's still 100 degrees. It's still heat.
Yeah, I was out there. It was 116, but they're like, oh, wow. It's dry heat. You don't really feel it.
You feel it.
No, you feel it.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot.
That's all.
But it's hot. It's hot. Absolutely, absolutely. What famous musicians do you admire?
Well, I would consider Kevin Parker of Tame Impala
Yes,
to be famous, but
yes.
not to
No,
you
no,
guys.
no. I get that. I get that.
Uh,
Yes.
I have always been the biggest Michael Jackson fan.
Mhm.
So Michael Jackson, Kevin Parker, I would say Max Martin, he's a huge producer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he makes all the biggest pop songs.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, love Max Martin. Um,
Interesting.
I don't know. That's all I can think of at the moment. So,
So, do you have a full band?
no, I don't.
So it's just you, and
Mhm.
you put the tracks down. Do you get out and are you able to perform anywhere?
I don't do that at the moment. I'm just
Okay.
focusing on like creating more songs to have stuff to perform, but definitely open to doing shows and stuff later in the year.
Mhm. What is one message? I know I'm asking all these crazy
No,
questions.
please, yeah.
And my mind's going in 100 different directions. If what's one message you would like to give to your fans, those that are following you on TikTok? And I knew you were
Uh,
going to say TikTok, by the way, before. It's just like that's what everybody's
TikTok
doing.
runs the music industry these
Yes, it
days.
does.
Uh, I don't want to say something corny. I wish I had something prepared, but I guess it's okay to be weird. It's okay to feel awkward. It's okay to not always know the right things to say. As long as you're true to yourself and true to your heart, then that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was so beautiful. No, I'm just kidding.
I know it was. It's touching. It's absolutely beautiful.
I seriously am going to, I really completely have just steered away from TikTok. And 9 out of 10 artists that we talk to are on TikTok doing their
Mhm.
thing. And I just have not had the desire to get on there and look at it. I am going to have to do that. Just
See,
seriously.
it's so hard because TikTok is really catapulting a lot of artists, but I would also argue that TikTok is not very healthy to be a part of and going on it all the time. So I think it's great that you're not on there. So many people are like addicted to scrolling on it all day, myself
Mhm.
included. I'm like trying to not do that lately, but it can be bad as much as it can be good.
I did hear that. One of my kids actually told me that, and
Oh,
he was
okay.
saying, he's like, and this was going back
Mhm.
about 6 months when we really just started us learning about the TikTok thing, and he had said, it's very addicting. He
Mhm.
said I have to really push myself away from even looking at it.
And
So,
it's
but it's a
affecting attention spans too. It's like,
yeah,
Well, do
yeah.
you know that the attention span from the normal human back in 2002, it was 12 seconds.
wait, what'd you say? I wasn't paying attention. No, I'm just kidding.
The average attention span in 2002 for a human was, I believe, 12 seconds.
I don't
What
know
is
if
it?
that's sad or not. Is that bad? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It's
it's
probably
because
like
now
5
it's
now.
only 8
Mhm.
8.
seconds.
All
Oh,
right, I'm
wow.
All
close.
right. And it's 1 second shorter than a goldfish's mind.
Wow,
Oh,
it's worse than a goldfish?
I'm not, yes.
Wow.
So what is that? That's a fact. And the only way I know that was it was in my show prep today at the radio station.
Oh, okay.
And I went, how can that be? But then I'm thinking about it. I'm going, yeah, okay.
That's
Yeah.
pretty sad. But
It
also,
is
who are
sad.
they testing?
I know that's the other thing. I look at these things and they say, in a recent survey, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, not around here.
Mhm.
That's not, no, that's not, so you really kind of wonder how many people, who did they test or ask,
Right.
so on and so forth. But anyways, it was there. So
yeah.
that's how I know that. I don't even know if it's
I
true.
mean,
But
my
that's what they told me.
attention span is definitely shorter. I'm just gonna have to kind of mentally see if it's about 8 to 12 seconds. I'd be really curious.
Mm, mm.
But
So
how would you even test it? Because then if you're super aware that you're being tested, I would be
that's a
Mhm.
good
prone
point.
to paying more attention. So I don't know
I
how they're
know.
doing that.
That's a good
I
point.
agree. It's a tough one,
Mm,
but
just blew my mind. That's a good point. How would they do that? That's
but
crazy.
I think it's all tied in to with the whole millennial thing and that instant gratification
Mhm.
and them wanting everything because it's like if they don't get what they want right away, they move on to the next thing. So when they're looking at something, if it's, don't even take a chance to see if it could be of interest.
Yeah.
If it's not attractive in those first 5 seconds, you're out of there. So,
And
anyway.
YouTube is falling under that whole thing as well, because the way that content creators on YouTube are editing their videos is in this fast-paced TikTok style format,
That
to
is
where
true.
the shots change literally every second, so that someone that likes TikTok can watch on YouTube and still be entertained for the whole video. But if you were to watch a video that's meant for like 12-year-olds on YouTube, you would be very overwhelmed. It's
Wow,
intense.
believe it. Wow.
We'll see where those people are when they're about 42.
I know.
If they can function.
You never know. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
It
So
is.
if when you're not playing music, when you're not in the studio doing your own thing, what do you do? Do you go out? Do you walk? Do you like to go to maybe baseball games? What do you do?
I would say definitely don't go to sporting events.
Okay.
But
All right.
I take a lot of walks. I go to the gym. I love to
Oh.
cook and bake. I'm like always in the kitchen making food. Like my other love and passion is definitely food. I could talk about food all day long. So I'm always cooking or going out to eat and trying new foods. So
Do you cook out a lot, like out on the patio?
no, I don't. It's
No?
too hot and I hate bugs. So
Oh, that's right too. I forgot you're in. Yeah. You're in
yeah.
90-degree temperature at well, here it's 8:45. So yeah.
So the
Wow.
people that you lived with in Nashville,
hmm
and you lived with them somewhere else, Virginia, you said?
Yeah.
Did any of those folks move out to Arizona?
Yeah. And that's who I'm working with now. So
Okay. So you have
yeah.
you have friends there, which is
Mhm.
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice that you have a little entourage that will all just move
Yeah.
together.
And I have a bunch of friends out in LA that I can go visit as well. So it's awesome.
And
Very cool.
how far of a drive is that for you?
It's 8 hours, which to some people sounds like a lot. I don't really
Mhm.
think it's a lot, but
No,
Yeah.
not
yeah.
in my world. I
It's
drive
funny.
all over.
East Coast people don't think it's a long drive, but
Mhm.
people here are like, "You're driving to LA?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
It's 8 hours. I'm in
yeah."
the
I know.
car. I go.
Well, they're probably used to getting a puddle jumper airplane from
Mhm.
Arizona over to LA. But
Yeah.
yeah, I drive 8 hours. I just went to Long Island and took me 7.5
She-
to get there because we got stuck in traffic.
Oh my
But
She's
gosh.
driving to Nashville every week
I
too.
drive
So
to
or
Nashville
Oh,
quite a bit.
wow.
not
Yeah.
every week, but it's
Not
pretty
every
often.
week, yeah.
How
That's a
long does that
13
take
hour
you? 13.
13.
And do you do it all in one shot?
Um, we used to do it quite often all in one
Mhm.
shot. The last few times we had the time to stop in Cincinnati for the night,
Mhm.
chill there, do whatever, and
Mhm.
then head out the next morning. But usually when I'm on my way back home, we have to do it all in one shot.
Okay, wow.
So it's it can be a haul.
Yeah.
But
Do you watch or listen to podcasts?
Uh, Not really, to be honest. I occasionally will like find something that sparks my
Mhm.
interest like on YouTube, and I'll watch the video form of a podcast.
Mhm.
But in any of my free time, I'm just making music usually. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can I ask, and you don't have to answer this, how
okay.
old are you?
How old do you think I am?
yeah, let's have a little guessing game here.
Also, I'll tell you outside of the podcast.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just because you have done so much and you
Mhm.
look very young
Mhm.
and you know what you want.
Mhm.
You're doing
That's
what you
half the
want.
battle, is knowing what you want.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, and from never having spoken with you before,
Mhm.
I can tell right off the top, you're very well spoken. You hold yourself very well. You know what you're talking about. You
Thank
just
you.
it's
You know what you
everything.
want for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where you're going.
Mhm.
So
Wow. What's the most trouble you ever gotten into?
I am such a goody two shoes. Honestly, I don't even know.
I always ask. You don't have to answer it if
I
you
don't
want to.
know. I would love to give you an intriguing answer, but I like,
well, actually, I would love to hear your most trouble because it'll be probably something so minor that someone that has been in a lot of trouble would be
I
wishing
know.
it was that. But I think that's kind of,
I think
You know.
freshman year of high school, my grades were not the best, and this is good. I mean, to me, this is a big deal. But
Remember, mom and dad might be watching. I'm just saying.
they know this. This is why I got in
Oh, okay.
trouble. So, my dad has a signature stamp, and I was supposed to get my like D grade signed by my dad, but I used my dad's signature stamp, and I thought I would get away with it. And then I guess the teacher could tell it was a stamp, and then they called home, and then I was like grounded the whole summer. So, and with no cell phone.
Oh my
Oh,
God. That's
no.
a tough lesson.
I know, but luckily I could use the house phone, and I got really close with a lot of my friends using the house phone. So,
See,
Is that mom that's watching?
yeah,
Tell her
she just
that.
said I am watching. That's funny.
We
That is
knew
so
it.
awesome.
We knew it. Well, she done well because look how well you turned out. So
absolutely. And tell us about your family. Do you have siblings?
I have a stepbrother and a sister, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm
No,
being
no,
weird about
that's
that. Yeah.
fine. That's fine. And do they support what you do, or is everybody like, are they digging your music? Are
Yeah,
they
my little sister is so supportive, and
very cool?
it's cool because like sometimes she'll send me videos of her like listening to my music, and like it means the world to me when she does that. And my family's very supportive, especially my mom who's watching right now. She's like my biggest fan. So
Absolutely, I can see why.
oh, where's your family? Are they on the East Coast then?
yeah, they're all in Philadelphia and New Jersey.
Okay.
I wonder if they've ever been to Syracuse.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure someone has.
What part of New Jersey?
It's called Wall, New Jersey. It's really tiny.
Oh, I haven't heard
It's
of that.
near Belmar. You've probably heard of Belmar?
Yeah, heard
Maybe?
of Belmont.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my
Let
daughter
me-
lives in Princeton right now, so I was
Oh,
just
nice.
curious if it was near there anywhere. No, just curious.
My best friend when I was growing up moved to Somerville.
Where's that?
Mm,
It's just outside Newark, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I was so
I
little
s-
at the time, and I was heartbroken because my best friend moved away. I'll never
Oh, that's
forget
the
that.
worst.
I'll
Mhm.
never
That's the
forget that.
worst.
Went home and cried. I was
Oh.
just a little kid at the time. That had to be many, 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 many years ago.
Mhm.
So those things you never forget.
Yeah.
You know,
Are
Oh, mom is going to Saratoga this weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Sorry, go ahead.
was just gonna ask if either of you are still friends to this day with anyone you were friends with as a kid.
wow. I'm going to say a couple of things here. I love the fact that you are asking questions too. Usually, when we do these interviews, they are so one-sided.
Mhm.
But I love it when the person that we're talking to and we're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
That you asked questions too. You ask questions of us. So now your question, and I don't even go to my school reunions. So, and they're all old now. That's why I don't go. I don't know. No,
Oh, I got you beat on that one.
hold it.
What?
Yes, there is one. There's one guy. I hadn't seen him in a bunch of years, but I just saw him. I want to say it was over the Christmas holiday. He's running a jewelry store. And it's a guy I grew up with. We used to be best friends. It was just great to reconnect. Went out to see him because I had to buy my wife a new ring. Didn't have to. I wanted to buy my wife a new ring, and it was his store, and it was so great to catch up. But I can't think of anybody else. I don't know. No. What about you, Deb?
I do. And, there's this old saying that I've heard throughout the years that usually you can count on one hand your really good friends in life.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I have a couple of girlfriends that I grew up with, like from elementary school, that we still talk. And a couple, and once every probably 5 years, there's a group of us from high school that all get together outside of the reunion. Like we all stay in touch, but I have two good girlfriends. And then in college, I have two good girlfriends, but one of the girls is my growing up girlfriend and college. We went to
Oh,
college
nice.
together. So I have, on that one hand, I have those girls that have been with me, through my whole life. So, it's hard to find people like that. So
Absolutely.
you can-
And I feel like the older you get, the harder it is to make that deep connection.
Oh, mm-hmm.
That is
And
so true.
when you have a friend that you might not have talked to in a year and you could just call up like you talked to them yesterday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
very hard to find. So if you get one of those or two of those folks in your life, you just hang on to them. So yeah, that's my
You
story.
have somebody that you can open up to, somebody besides mom, do you a friend maybe that's still at home? And I know moms are so important. Even when my mom is gone now, but if I needed to talk, I would always go to my mom because I didn't have at that time a really close friend
Yeah.
here. So my mom was the person I would go to, and we'd have the we could talk about anything, right or wrong, but we'd talk about it. So, do you have somebody?
I have a few close girlfriends that
Uh-huh.
I can always go to, and my best friend is probably Maddie Beats, who he's a producer, and I
Yeah.
can talk to him about like anything. So he's the
Isn't that
best.
cool having somebody like that, especially the opposite sex, where
Yeah.
you can just like talk to? I mean, Deb and I have had conversations. We've become like best friends. And I mean, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's time I'll go, Deb, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
And
And it's different insight you can get from a
Yeah.
woman than from a guy
yes,
friend. Absolutely.
yes, exactly. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I am making the best music I've ever made, and I have
Yes.
amazing visuals that fully represent like how I see my music. Like I just want to make the sickest music videos, and maybe I'm doing some voice work on some cartoons.
Yay.
We need to keep in touch because
Yes.
I want to know what you do with that because I
Yeah.
have some voiceover connections.
Okay,
Um,
amazing.
And I have a full voiceover studio here I'm in a room right now. Half of it's a podcast studio. The other half is a voiceover studio.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
It's very cool. Very cool. And it's the best of the best. Spare no expense, something I always wanted to do. This is in my home.
Yeah.
And it's a room that's down, in the bottom. And people call it the cellar. But this
Did
has
you
been
treat
all
it yourself?
I did. I don't have a whole lot of treating. As you can see, I got some squares behind me.
Yeah.
I've got the corners, so the help of the base, and the other side, the voiceover area is fully treated. So
Okay, nice.
it's really nice.
But I'm
And
saying, did you treat that area yourself, or did you hire someone?
no,
or-
I did it.
Okay, nice.
I did it, and I use Sennheiser mics for the voiceover.
Awesome.
Very nice. Yeah, and they weren't cheap, but I'll tell you, like we mentioned earlier, you get a good mic, you're good to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
So paying the extra money is well worth it. So absolutely. Eva Grace, it's been so awesome chatting with you
Yeah,
today.
this was so much fun.
Yeah, like I said before we went on it, it's pretty low key. This is what we do. It's Skip Happens, and we talk to a
And
lot
some
of the new.
skip did happen with the
Yes.
voice.
Yeah. Yes, I love it. And we just, we talk to the up and coming artists. It doesn't matter what genre they are. We'd like to hear about your journey, and you've spoken very in depth about your journey and where you are. And now you're being in Tucson, and it's just really cool. And I look forward to seeing a website down the road, and I look forward to hearing more music from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And to anyone listening, you can find me by just searching Eva Grace on any platform, and you'll see me or hear me. So thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to sign off, but I want you to hang out for a few minutes and hello to your mom. And
Hi, Mom.
here's another way. Yeah. Hi, Mom. Now she can see you. And do you guys talk every day?
My mom and I, we talk like almost every day. Yeah, we'll always text and stuff. So
here you go. Technology, right?
I
That's
know.
what we're doing here. And
Yeah.
a lot of it is, as you mentioned before the pandemic, we were doing them actually live in studio until the pandemic. And then we started doing this, and this has been great. So,
and you can reach people from anywhere
Oh my
doing
God.
it like this. It's amazing.
yeah, we talked to artists in Romania.
Yeah. Let's see, where are some of those places that you had?
Australia,
Yeah.
which really messes with my brain because they're like a whole day ahead.
I know
Yeah.
the time difference is insane.
Like, oh, I'm going to lunch. I go, wait a minute, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Eva Grace, everybody, make sure you check her out. Search just Eva Grace in Google, and you can see it all come up. And follow her, buy her music, support her. She's a new and up and coming artist, and she is doing her thing. And I know Eva Grace will be a household name down the road. So that's
Thank you
pretty
so
cool.
much.
Eva, you're so awesome. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Skip Happens. So good to see you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night,
you so much for
everyone.
having me.
Good night, everybody.